Yo, what's going on YouTube? And welcome to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look at the Washington Capitals today, as they've been building up a pretty solid prospect pool over the past couple of seasons. Some would even say some prospect steals. We'll be taking a look at some of those guys in this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey and want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. And let's take a look at the Washington Capitals prospects. Alright, so before we get too far into this video, I want to give a quick plug to our Instagram and Twitter handles at goalline_hockey. And make sure to check out our Patreon for a weekly podcast every Thursday. We talk about all things around the NHL of the past week, as well as other exclusive content. Make sure to check out the links will be in the description down below as well. All right, so with that out of the way, let's take a look at the Washington Capitals. The Washington Capitals are one of those teams that, for the past couple of seasons, specifically in the AHL, have struggled. The Hershey Bears have struggled. They had that Calder Cup final back in 2015 or 2016, but since then they've really struggled. Mostly, some coaching changes and things like that. They've gone through the ringer, and because they've started to build up and become a Stanley Cup champion, that has unfortunately costed them prospects along the way, which has unfortunately made it more difficult for them in their development and their prospect pool. But that has since changed over the last couple of seasons. Some late first round draft picks, maybe steals for the Caps, as well as a third rounder back in 2019 that I think people are starting to notice, and scouts are turning heads toward this player. So we'll be looking at those guys here. So starting things off, 2019 first round pick by the Washington Capitals, 25th overall. I talked about him when the playoff bubble was just getting started, that he would be a black ace for the Capitals. That didn't end up happening, but he was a pretty solid player. Centerman Connor McMichael, 19 years old, 6 foot, 183 pounds. He played with the London Knights last season, had 102 points in 52 games with the London Knights last year. You could definitely say he was motivated by his recent situation with the draft, getting drafted in the first round. He looks like a really solid player, and the Capitals will be hopefully inserting him into the lineup this season. I think that's the plan for the Capitals, that he would jump into their lineup. Obviously, with the salary cap being what it is, especially this season with the Washington Capitals, they're going to have to rely on the youth. It's a perfect opportunity for Connor McMichael to jump into the NHL, hopefully, this season. Now, another guy we have to look at. Another 2019 pick, but in the third round at number 91 overall. And he's been turning heads. I saw an article recently on Hockey Writers talking about him. Axi Protoss. Played in the the KHL this season with the Minsk Dynamo. He has 5 points in his 20 games this season. And there's a lot of hype around Protoss. This is a guy that kind of came onto the scene out of nowhere. And I think teams are starting to notice what his potential is. And it's like, wow, this kid's pretty legit. And I think people see the potential of what he can do for the Capitals in their forward group, even with Connor McMichael. Now, looking at this kid, he's from Belarus. In his WHL days, back in the 2018, 2019, and 2019-2020 seasons, his first season in the WHL with the Prince Albert Raiders, put up 40 points in his first season, and he put up 80 points this season in 3 less games back in the 2019-2020 season. Protoss looks like a legit top-tier forward. This may be an absolute steal for the Capitals at that third round spot. We'll see how he turns out. But keep your eye on Axi Protoss. That's a Capital that we will be watching for sometime, maybe even this season. And then the 2020 first round pick of the Washington Capitals, 22nd overall centerman Hendricks Lapierre. Hendricks Lapierre played with the Chicoutimi Seguinines. He already has 4 points in 8 games this season with Chicoutimi, and this is another solid prospect. And, I remember there was a lot of hype around this kid going into the draft. Now, a lot of these Quebec native guys definitely get their recognition. He's from Gatineau up in Quebec. 6 foot, 181 pounds. He's still 18 years old. This is a solid prospect. His first season with Chicoutimi, 45 points. This past season, he put up only 17 points, but in 19 games. He had some injury issues, so as long as that gets fixed, hopefully everything's good to go, he will be a solid prospect for the Capitals. And that's why his draft stock fell so much, was because of the injuries. Players, scouts just weren't seeing him as much. And fortunately for the Capitals, he fell right into their lap at 22. I think this will be a long-term steal for the Capitals at that spot. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below, which of these three guys would you like to see in the Washington Capitals lineup next season? They are all centers, just to keep in mind. So obviously the Capitals realize that as Nick Backstrom continues to get older, Evgeny Kuznetsov continues to age, maybe not at the same level as Backstrom, but he's still aging. Lars Eller, Nick Dowd. There will be a need for centers on this Washington Capitals lineup in the future, and they seem to be looking at those guys in the draft. So let me know, who do you think could jump into the lineup sooner than the others? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey and want to see the latest news around the NHL, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.